beautiful souls. It's Kat from Elevate, my channel where we talk about recovering from toxic relationships and regaining self-love and self-esteem. Today's topic is going to be triggers. When you get triggered and what's triggering. So before we start with, please make sure you're subscribed and you've hit the bell icon for notifications. So what does it mean to be triggered? There's something coming up inside you when you get triggered, and it's going to be hurt, it's going to be anger, but it's something where there's a disturbance, right? And generally we should all be striving to have a certain baseline level of inner peace and contentment, just like a baseline every day. So that should be your goal for each day, having an inner peace after the toxic relationship. You want to get to that place. And if you're not, because you have anxiety or depression, you want to work on that first, of course. But sometimes we have that level of inner peace and we still get triggered, right? It's because none of us are healed completely. There's no person who's totally healed, no matter how much work they've done. People can be very healed and they can be less triggered, but I don't think anyone's perfect, right? So over time and without contact with the toxic person, you'll be less triggered and you'll react less dramatically to triggers, but you still may have them. So a while back, I was triggered myself by seeing an ex-boyfriend's photo on a dating app. I had been on this dating app for over a year and never saw him on there before. So I didn't expect it and it was a surprise. So there was so much going on in my head at that time, at that moment, and I didn't even scroll down to look at his profile because I knew that that would just trigger me further. Especially since I knew that there would be lies on there. You know, he was like advertising himself as this great person. Meanwhile, he was a narcissist. So I couldn't even scroll down. But other people might be triggered by other things, like hearing things, smelling things, or just being in a certain place. So it could be smelling someone's cologne, perfume, or scent of a flower. It could be hearing a song and you know you're triggered because that was like your song with that person. So we feel like this anxiety and an energy running through our body when we feel triggered. So we're not always sure what to do with that. People are triggered by all different things, but there's nothing wrong with you for being triggered. It's normal. However, you want to be honest with yourself and avoid triggers if you can. So if you're going to be triggered by looking at your ex's social media, don't do that, you know? Be honest with yourself about triggers. So going back to my trigger with the ex, I've not looked at his social media at all, and I hadn't for a year because I knew that would trigger me. And I was fully aware, very aware of my own triggers, that if I saw him with another woman on social media, I would have been extremely devastated. So I didn't look and I spared myself that pain. So you have to know yourself. You have to have an awareness of what's going to hurt you and not do that. You know, self-sabotage is real. People self-sabotage. You can't change what other people do to you. And you can't change the situations that other people will put you through, but you can make your own choices to remove yourself from harmful situations and choose to not expose yourself to certain things. So you can put your hand in the fire or not. You can be checking up on them and waste days, weeks, or months of your life or not. So the bottom line is, if they no longer want to pursue a relationship with, or you didn't want to pursue a relationship with them, then they don't exist anymore. They're not in your world anymore. They're gone. And you want to keep it that way because they're toxic people. All you can do is accept the situation and move on with your life. It doesn't mean that you're a bad person, that they didn't want to have you in their life. In fact, it could actually mean you're an amazing person, but they cannot handle having someone like that close to them because it highlights their own insecurities. You know, emotionally immature people, insecure people can't handle having great people around them. And because it makes them feel inferior. So they don't feel good around you because they are reflecting that they feel inferior. So narcissists, emotionally immature people, they can't handle the shine that a wonderful person has around them, and they want to dim your light and bring you down to their level. So if you have boundaries and stand up for yourself, you'll often see that these people will exit the scene because they want to find an easier target and also someone that makes them feel better about themselves. So they want someone who is not going to have their own needs or feelings. They just want to have their ego boosted. I feel like these people are the happiest when they have a doormat as a partner, and that's because they're looking for several things. The first thing that they're looking for is total control of situations and you. The second thing is to feel superior or better. And the third is to not feel insecure and to be reminded of their mistakes or shortcomings. Fourth is they want their partner not to have any emotional needs. And fifth is they want their partner to fulfill all their needs without complaining. Sixth, they want their partner to let them do whatever they want without complaint. And that means lying, cheating, manipulating, gaslighting, whatever toxic things they do, the tactics that this person does, and they don't want you to complain. They just want you to comply and be submissive and go along with this. If they get these things, then they're satisfied. Even if you put up a fight and a fuss by standing up for yourself once in a while, as long as you keep staying with this toxic person, they're victorious. Because the reality is, as long as you stay and put up with the madness, they're still in control. They're in their comfort zone. They still call the shots. It's only if you actually leave the situation because it's a dead end that you would take back control, take back your power. So staying means a narcissist is still in control. Now, when you're triggered by this in a situation with a narcissist in any respect, you need to figure out how to handle yourself in a healthy way. So let's talk first about some unhealthy ways, like getting angry and screaming at the person when you're triggered, or reaching out to reconcile with someone that you shouldn't be, overeating, drinking, doing drugs. These are all harmful ways of coping, right? Healthier ways that would be a better option are energy releases from the body, because you're going to have that energy that needs to come out. And that could be running. You could do a brisk walk, listening to affirmations. You could do a hot shower, Epsom salts baths, dancing, listening to music, calling a friend, writing a letter that you don't send to them. So getting out all your feelings on paper, journaling, maybe even buying yourself a gift or going to an experience or something that you've been looking forward to, a movie or a sports game that you want to go to. So there's nothing wrong with you that you've been triggered, because everybody gets triggered. And that's why I wanted to make this video. So, even if you're totally over someone and you don't want them back, you can still be triggered like I was. I don't want my ex-boyfriend back. I recognize that he's not a healthy enough partner for me. But that being said, seeing his picture still triggered me, because trauma can get triggered from seeing something, from hearing something, from smelling something, and being in a certain place. Sometimes you pass by places where you were with someone and that can trigger you. So you're going to have all these trauma triggers that will kick in at times, especially if you were trauma bonded and this was an unhealthy, toxic relationship. You're going to have things that pop up that may affect you in a negative way. And your choice at that point is just going to be to figure out how you're going to deal with the trigger. So you're going to deal with it in a positive way, or you're going to deal with it in a negative way. It will pass. So for instance, in my situation, I felt like I wanted to reach out to my ex and give him a piece of my mind. It brought up some anger for me when I saw him. But I didn't at that time. I called my friends and we spoke about it. And then by the next day, I just felt that feeling of the anger coming up in me had dissipated. I hope this video helped you today and you understand that you can still be triggered even if you're on a healing journey, even if you're over the person, even if you don't want that person back in your life. The places, things that kick up these memories and this trauma and triggers you, you basically have to just ride the wave, and you're going to have to figure out how you're going to deal with that. And it helps you to kind of have a plan. So I would suggest having some kind of plan if this does happen, a plan in advance of some ways to do some self-care when these things pop up, because many months down the line or years down the line, they can still pop up. I wish you good luck with that. And if you have any comments about this video or your own experiences about being triggered, please put them down in the comments below. I love to hear about your experiences, and also please like and share this video.